afternoon, I was interviewed for a guy who has a podcast. He was the #1 income earner in doTERRA a while ago. He has now just opened up a coaching business to help 7-figure income earners. He had heard me on MLM Nation, asked me to be on his podcast. And when we got off, we were just chatting a little bit about an entrepreneur mindset with this business, and really this kind of season we're in, that it's no longer like this side hustle and like this part-time income, but really a profession and doing more B2B. And he was saying, you know, when I built with doTERRA, I didn't ever want to just enroll like 5 people in a month or, 20, customers in a month, but they would go in and find these doctors that had access to like hundreds of patients, and these people that were really, really influential. And just with where we're at. And he said, many people are in that profession, not because they love it, but because of the income attached to it. It was just like encouraging so many network marketers to raise up to the plate and do some more B2B. And it just inspired me in a way that I thought, I think all of us can do that. And I know so many people on both of our teams are great at leveraging their B2B professions, professional relationships, but that when we are like so absolutely, on board with our products and now the simple systems and our compensation plan to be able to leverage those connections, you just kind of never know who's going to come in, who can change everything, and who really has the reach to impact that many more lives. So I want to just get a sense of who's on the call tonight. I know we've got Jamie Lynn and Kristen's team joining us, and Team Win and Dreamers in Action. If you guys can put in the chat for me, because I've got a couple different systems. And so I want to show you all 3 that I kind of use, and there's no right, there's no wrong. I don't want you to be overwhelmed with this. I want you to see them as tools, but I would love for you to, like, if you are maybe less than a year in the business and you are just like, how do I stay organized on like next steps? Like, what do I do, to get someone started? Or what do I do once I enroll somebody? Or how do I keep track of their rank advancement dates? If that's you, I would love for you to put a 1 in the chat. If it's like, man, I just feel like I enroll people, and am I supposed to use Isopulse? Am I supposed to use Penny? Like, what's a business blueprint? If that's you, I'd like to maybe see by putting a 1 in the chat. Okay, then if you're someone who maybe has always worked for somebody and you've had a boss or, more of a typical job where someone tells you what to do and you know exactly what to do on that day. And if you don't do that, you're going to get in trouble with your job. And as an entrepreneur, you're like, yes, I want to be the next Brady Brocon, Erica Rothenberger, and Laura Lurie, and, Kari Andrews. You're like, yes, I'm doing this. But you are like, what do I actually do when I sit down to work my business? You're like, okay, I blocked out on my calendar. I'm going to build my Isogenics business at 8:00 on Monday. But then you sit down and you're like, what do I do? Right? If that's you, put a 2 in the chat. Because I think that that's a lot of people. And they're like, that sounds like I want to work. But then I'm like, do I call people? Do I follow up with people? Do I post on social media? Do I listen to podcasts? And then if you're maybe a more seasoned leader, like let's say maybe 2-star and above, or even 1-star and above, and you're thinking like, wow, okay, I've got it down. I know how to onboard a new customer, or I kind of know what to do in the pockets of my time or during a power hour. But to really develop next leaders, to really track my business at like a deeper level, and to dig into those reports and have this bird's eye view kind of CEO, like, can you help me with that? Like, what's that checklist? Put a 3 in the chat if that would be of value to you. And you're like, okay, like I'm a great enroller. I can get everybody into Isobody, but like, what do I do from here? If that's you, who's ever Katie's hot balloon, that's hilarious, by the way. I love that name. Definitely, I just want to see kind of where you're at with a 3. And I'll tell you kind of how all these things came about. As promised, hi, Miss Jess, I just saw your face. I don't want these to overwhelm you, especially with the fact that like in a couple of days, you're going to learn the most simple system ever, So the fact that in literally a couple of days with PVC 1, 2, 3, and the 1, 2, 3 being like, what do you do with a 1? What do you do with a 2? What do you do with a 3? That it's never going to be more simple to onboard somebody. I don't want this to be like, do this instead, but I think that there's just other areas of looking at your business to keep it simple that I wanted to share with you. So I've got a couple different, oops, hold on one second. I got to pull up that document. I've got a couple different ones that I want to share with you in no particular order. And you guys will see too how my business is like totally matured and where like these are a little bit more dated. Except that I still can't figure out how to use Zoom. You'd think after all this time. Just kidding. Okay, if I pull this up right now, you guys tell me if you're looking at it. Jeff, are you looking at that spreadsheet? I can see you. Or is it still the background of my computer? Anne, are you looking at that, or is it the background of my computer?
It just says you've started sharing and it's black.
Okay, let me start again. Sometimes you have to like load it up first and not like after the fact. Thanks, Jess. Is that up now? Are we good? Or is it still not there?
Yes,
okay.
It's there. It's there.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so you guys literally, and this is the blank one. Mine is very full, and I change it all the time. But this was something that I made probably 6 years ago because we were enrolling people so fast, and I had no idea what to do with them. And with this being said, I want to remind you that some of the most successful people that I know in this business are the most unorganized people, right? I mean, like Janny, if you listen to this, I love you with my whole heart, but like I knew right away, like she was a scatterbrain, you know, and she didn't have those systems, but Janny didn't work with a lot of people. She worked with 1 or 2 at a time. And I thought I was different. I was enrolling a lot of people, and I wanted to figure out how to stay organized so I could quickly reach out to somebody, so that I could quickly look at something and like get a hold of them. So part of this report, you guys, or this tracking sheet, was before Isagenix gave us the report that showed people's rank advancement dates. So I would do this because we didn't have access to the report. This might be a little bit dated, but I wanted to just show you different ways that you can kind of keep track of things. So when I enroll somebody, I put in their number, I put in their email. This is so I have their emails to be able to do a blast when there's a seasonal shake. I've got their phone that I can easily like, you know, drag all those phone numbers and put it into an app, like hit them up or something of that sort. But I put in their dates, okay? I personally, like in one spot, want to see their crystal manager date, their crystal director date, and their crystal executive date. So when they become an associate, so this used to be obviously when they just got enrolled, they immediately had those dates. When they become an associate, and it tells them in the back office, I have them in there, and I sort these on my customers list of like what's coming up next, so that when I sit down to work my business, at any given point, I can open up my sheet and be like, oh my gosh, Jeff's crystal manager date is on Sunday. Like, I've got to get on him, you know, that I can see what's coming up, and to say, oh my gosh, like Anne's about to hit crystal director. We've got, you know, 2 weeks left for her to create 2 more consultants, and to have those right there that I can see it. There's some other checklists here. And this is the part where now with the PVC one, going to change a little bit, but some things that have worked really well for us on our team, or really well for me, that I wanted to share with you, because it's just in my head. People say, like, how do you keep track of that? Like, do you just have it all in your memory? And I think I wish that I was that great, but I'm not. So I enroll someone, I put their dates in there. This little box here that says the ATM welcome text. You guys, I love to introduce our team to other people. So if I enrolled Laura, you know, I would do a group message with her at some point, and I would say, Laura, you have got to meet my friend Jessica. She's absolutely amazing. You know, she made $1 million in less than 2 years with this company. She's got one of the fastest growing businesses. Jessica, I just enrolled Laura. She's absolutely amazing. She's running to the moon with us. I'd love for you to tell her her story. I would love for her to have another line of support. I wanted her to quickly see a snapshot of our, you know, company culture, or our team culture. And then if I look at this and I go, man, Laura never, you know, got on a team call, and I can say, wow, I never did a group text with her. I never introduced her to anybody. The next category over here, this new associate interview, you guys, we don't necessarily use that anymore. I also have it as you share, but that is, did I show them how to get their products for free? When you enroll, some of these people, you guys on Jessica's team, our team, they enroll 5 or 10 people a week. And we want to keep track of everything, but you can put them in here and say, did I text them and show them how to get their products for free? Did I invite them onto a compensation plan call? You know, did I say, hey, I want to show you how to get your products for free? Because when you have all these enrollments, if you're not creating consultants, it's easy when someone comes to you and says, hey, show me what to do. Hey, I want to build this business. But if they don't, and you're actually trying to develop something, there's just some steps that I've found that have really helped people to stay on track and to stay the course. So this was more with the nutrition, the day 5 call, the day 14 call, the day 21 call. And a lot of that came from Tracy O'Malley. A long time ago, did this training on really like how day 5 was when you had the, unicorn sparkle high, and you could still easily remember how sluggish you felt when you first started your 30-day system, and trying to get someone to share and checking in with them. And obviously by day 21, we were talking about next month's order. This is a lot different with the collagen, but as many of us are transitioning back to nutrition or putting that in the mix, it's a way, if you're not using Penny, that's going to update you, they're on week 1, they're on week 2, to just kind of know where your customers are. And I remember people saying like, oh my gosh, I don't want to address auto ship, Lauren. I don't want to tell them it's coming out, because what if they cancel it, or what if they push it out? And I actually really love to talk to people about their subscription coming up, because it's a way to educate people to get what they want and introduce them to new things. So if I know that, Anne's auto ship is going to come out, I'm going to message her and be like, girlfriend, I know you're crushing this right now. You're like looking better than you did in high school. You feel amazing. And your subscription's about to go out. And in addition to the products you're loving, I wanted to share with you a few of my favorites. Like, I can't go a day without the repair. I work out so hard. I know you do too. You're going to love this. I can't go a day without the adaptogen elixir. And if you have not used our cashmere cream, holy bananas, you've got to get this in your order. I only want you to pay for shipping once. You're going to get, flat shipping because you're on subscription. So let's bundle it to make it most effective for you. Like, people are like, thank you so much. I had no idea. Or they go, oh, I'm so glad you reached out. I did want to try that. Or I saw someone talking about the BIA in your group. Can you tell me about that? And this is a way that I really like to be proactive, that they're not just getting what we put in those initial links. Because the worst thing to happen is when someone says, oh, my box came and I didn't want this. Or when they go, oh, I have so much collagen, like, how do I send this back? And you're trying to keep people at 100 BV, but even if they stock up on collagen because they stop double dosing or they skip a few days or whatnot, to keep them active, because we teach them about greens, we teach them about XM or whatever those products would be. So that's one way that you can kind of keep track of that. The core event is talking to people about events. You guys, events are back. So when you have a new person right now to be like, oh my gosh, UIA is this weekend, you got to get on a plane, you got to get there. This event is going to change your life. As you enroll people this summer and you say, come to Orlando with us, I've got your ticket, I've got your, seat, or whatever that is, that it keeps it on the forefront. And some of this, like the IsaBody, that's in the new 1, 2, 3 checklist, that your product users got on there. And the last one is the vision group and the Facebook group. Just making sure, and it's a checklist. When you enroll a lot of people, especially on a Sunday night, to then go back and say, did I add them into our VIP page? If you enrolled them with nutrition, maybe you didn't use the system up front and you want them to have that great cleanse coaching. And when we're talking about the vision call outside of the YouShare, you guys, I love to do this with people when they've been on the products for a couple weeks and they're loving it. And I say, hey, do you have 10 or 15 minutes? I want to show you how you can make $10,000 or $15,000. I mean, that's how I love to set that up. I'll say, I know a lot of people talk about getting your products for free. $200 doesn't excite me. I want to show you a roadmap with $10,000 to $20,000 in the next 6 months. Can you please chat with me? When are a couple of times for you to chat with me? And it's just a checklist. Now, I will be completely honest with you. If I were to show you mine right now with like my last 25 enrollments, there is not a thing in every box. I'm human and I forget to do it, or it's happened, or I kind of have to go back. But I will tell you, more often than not, I've been able to create consultants or create managers because I've gone back to this and been like, dang, there's a step I didn't do, that I can keep working with them and keep developing them in order to get them to the next level. So that was a little bit of, and I told you guys I'm going to share that. So I don't want that to get in conflict with the 1, 2, 3, but if it's something that could be of value to you and just have something in one spot, I really just love being able to look at like my personally enrolled team, or to be able to put people in there when I know that their leader or whoever the upline is doesn't build. So if I have a product user that's sharing with some people, I plug those people in as my own, because they don't always come up on every report, or it's harder to find, especially if you're new. So if, Lindsay's an amazing customer of mine and she shared with a couple people, but Lindsay doesn't build, I want to be able to have those people that I'm thinking about it, because they don't always come up right away because I didn't enroll them, to be able to go through and say, oh my gosh, okay, Lindsay had referred Alicia. Did we talk to her about getting her products for free? You know, does she know about her subscription? And just to, when you sit down, so much of our business is recruiting and enrolling, and that's always 80% of it. But when we talk about the business development, a lot of it is making sure you have great customer care. And I will just tell you guys, I mean, I remember the first time someone said to me, imagine if everybody in your back office had 100 BV. If all of those zeros of inactive customers had 100 BV, and how important retention is. And when I started just really treating the business like a business, it allowed us to increase our retention. And corporate has told me that our team has, as a team, really high retention numbers. And I think part of that is having systems in place. So the second thing that I want to share with you guys, I'm going to pull it up ahead of time and hopefully we don't have that lag. About a year ago, I actually trained for corporate on a schedule and your income producing activities and what you do. Can you guys see this? Jess, are you looking at it? Okay, so this is an old sheet. If you Google right now, Isagenix income producing activity log, this will come up. It's been an Isagenix business for a couple years, but it was something that I made when I trained for the company on time management, or what you do when you sit down and work your business. So many of you know, some of you don't know, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week when Isagenix came into my lap. I mean, I was like the queen bee of, I didn't have time to do this. I mean, we all know Erica Rothenberger is so busy, but she has such a thriving business because she's disciplined with her time. Some people, you know, use the quadrant. Some people work in those 4 15-minute blocks. There is no right or wrong way to do this, but the idea is to say, hey, if I've got an hour, you know, or I've only got 30 minutes, like, what are the things that I should be doing? And I try to create like a part-time and a full-time, because if you're doing this part-time, I mean, obviously there's less time. And so there's going to be less expectations of your reach outs, of your follow-ups, of whatever that may be. But I had people print this out, you know, 5 and 5 for the week. And then to just sit down, that if you go, okay, I'm building my Isagenix business at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and you sit down and it's just a checklist, right? Okay, the first thing I need to do is a new connection. Those are starting the conversation. Hey, thank you so much for liking my story. If you have any questions about the collagen, I'd love to chat with you. You know, your new connection. And hey, I know that you're into health and fitness. I watch you at the gym every single day. We're kicking off a summer shred next week, and I thought about you. If you're interested in this, you might know someone who's interested in doing it. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about it. Your new connection. Then your follow-up. If you sent out a link last week and someone didn't check out, right? It didn't complete all the way, I mean, put an exclamation point in the chat. I know a lot of us are getting better at that conversion, but it happens to us. Those are the best people to circle back and say, hey, Jeff, I sent you a link. It looks like you started it. You didn't complete it. I just got a notification that it might expire. I want to make sure you're still good to go. If there was any changes, or I can resend you the link. You know, those are your follow-ups. The acts of service is like being a good human. So sometimes that's sending a card, that's a compliment. Those can be the birthday messages. It's things that raise your vibration, and it will attract things into your business, and it makes this business fun. You know, I mean, I honestly, that's some of my favorite parts, is to be like, what customer can I go love on today? You know, who can I just send a message to? And I love when I receive them. You guys, we do this as a culture. I mean, I got the most beautiful message today from Holly. Like, she knows what our family is going through, and she just said, I'm thinking about you and I'm praying about you. And that lifted me up out of nowhere. And that's the beauty of this business. But sometimes we don't always think about it. You're like, oh man, I got to get double pibs. I got to enroll people, and I'm doing all my reach outs. And when you put that energy out there and you do your acts of service, out of nowhere, Teresa messages you and is like, hey, I saw your post. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're up to? It's a way to track that you're doing social media. It's a way to log your gratitude and have your intention statements all in one place. And then we had some of the team building activities. You know, as you start to grow a team, like, are you promoting events? Are you doing ATM? You know, have you gotten people into IsaBody? And again, a lot of this is going to change with PBC and 123 in terms of what to do with a new customer and how you onboard people. And I really, really, really want that to be the focus. But I remember when Penny came out, some of you know what that is, some of you don't, was a contact managing system. Some people are using it, some people are not. It syncs with your back office, and it was wonderful because it would give you your leads. It would say, here's the people to reach out to, and here's the people to follow up to, but it didn't have the intention statements in there. And Jess and I both believe so much in manifestation, and we truly, truly believe that we've attracted in the people on our teams because we're so clear and so aligned with people we wanted to work with. But I was like, where do you put that in Penny? There's nowhere. And I got so focused on Penny that I kind of got away with that. And so in one place, I wanted to just be able to keep track of that. And you guys, honestly, for the last 3 years, I have been teaching 3 by 3 by 3, what I call upgraded. And when people say, what do I do? And I say, print out the IPA sheet, like just print this out and track it. And even if it's not perfect, if you start to do this and even part of it, it's going to guide you into the direction that's going to get you paid, and it's going to get your team paid. Okay. So some people that want it a little bit more clear in the time blocking calendar, to actually, this is the backside of it, to write out, hey, morning, social media, afternoon, reach outs, evening, follow up, or morning, gratitude, afternoon, social media, evening, reach outs. If you want to break that out, that works for you. This doesn't work for me. I'm a total list person, and I'm just a checklist person. I don't care if it's happening at 2 a.m. or midnight or 6 p.m. I just want to get it done. And I work really well on checklists. That's the red in me. But it was kind of like different strokes for different folks. But honestly, what I'm most excited about that I want to show you, and this was what Laura and I worked on together when she was here, and my amazing husband helped put together, because we had this vision, and I'm like, I suck at Excel, babe. And we're like literally with our notebook paper and like chicken scratch, Laura can tell you, like took it to him and said, can you build something for us? Like, Laura and I want to be accountability partners. And that's why a couple weeks ago, I said, I've got to play with this for a little bit before I teach it to you. Like, I don't want to give you something and be like, just kidding, that's hogwash. But I can, without a doubt, with complete certainty, Laura, if I know your video is off right now. Oh no, it's back on. I mean, type in the chat if this has done anything for you. Without a doubt, it has shifted our businesses into a focus and into a momentum in a way that we haven't been, because of where we are. So I want to preface this. If you are brand new, this might be like, what isolatine are they talking about? And please just focus on your IPAs. Just focus on PPC, what's going to be 1, 2, 3 in your IPAs. Now, this last one is like your 2-star and above, your executives and above, your 3-star. You know, some of the leaders on here that are like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do? And the depth. And we just said, there's got to be a way that we don't just sometimes do these things, right? And I remember being at Eric Worre's Influencer Summit a couple of years ago. And he said, the people in this business that can look at their business in a calendar, just like any business, and have forecasting and say, like, when do we do group cleanses? When is a slow month that we do promotions? And like build out your contest. They're thriving. Then the ones that are like on the tail ends, like nothing's planned. For example, Jess and I both have our summer shreds planned. We have graphics, we're promoting them, but there's probably leaders in Isogenics that haven't. And then they're like, oh gosh, I should do a summer shred. And they're trying to like figure it out. And they're not going to have the same success because they're not really treating their business like a business. That's where we came from when we created this. Is like, we don't want to be like catching up. I don't want to be the third week of Leader in Action and be like, okay, what do I do? My points aren't what I want to be. And like, how can we just look at this in a month view, in a week view, in a daily view, that we stay on top of it? And so I'm going to share that with you. I'm actually really excited about it because we've had a lot of fun with it. But can you guys see this? Okay, when I send this to you, if you end up printing it out, I printed it out in landscape view. Okay, so here was my one for April. I printed it off just like Leader in Action. Now we just started month May, right? So we're doing it with the commission month. We just printed it out. And in the very top was just the goals. Like, so that when you're looking at this every single day, it's like, why are you doing this? You know, you can put your why across the top, but your monthly, your quarterly, and your annually. You know, you're looking at like, what are you doing in the next 30 days? What are you doing in the next 90 days? What are you doing in the next 365 days? And so, for example, because I think it's really important to make it real, for monthly stuff right now, I mean, I was like, my 10 enrollments, you know, my 4 consultants, my 1 manager, my 1 director, like I know who these people are, that I have 80 points in LIA for May. That's what I'm focused on. You know, my quarterly is some stuff with the house. Ryan and I are designing a new house, and there's some things that I want to do. And I'm like, okay, in the next 90 days, this is what I have to do in order to bring those things to fruition. I also know my expectations of creating an executive or creating a director. That takes longer than 30 days, typically, not always. Both teams have debunked that, right? But to be able to like look at that. And annually, if there's anything right now on my mind that I would encourage you guys to put on there, is Fiji, right? It's a competitive race this year, and that is a trip of a lifetime that I'm going, you know, if I ever sit down, I'm like, man, I don't want to do that today. I'm like, Fiji, I'm going to Fiji. I won Fiji and it got canceled because of COVID. There's no way I'm not going on that trip when it comes back around, you know? And that's right there. And then what we did is we broke this in to activity that we want to do daily, to activity that we want to do weekly, into activity that we want to do monthly. So this was the things that Laura and I sat down and said, what are we wanting to do every single day that we want to check in on and we want to help other people check in on? And literally, if I do it, I put a little X on the Monday. And if I don't, it's blank. And last week I was in Arizona and I'm pissed off. I told Laura, I was like, that was not a good accountability group. I was not great for you. I went to Arizona. But did I do my gratitude and intentions? You know, did I read or listen to a podcast? Did I exercise? For us, you guys, where we are in this business, a minimum of 5 reach outs and 5 follow-ups. Okay. Did we do a social media post? Did we do our affirmations? And did we do our birthday messages? Okay. This is just on a day-to-day basis. This is the things that we do in our power hours. You know, our team offers, anybody's welcome to get on. And by the way, 5 different power hours a week. And often it's around these activities and it's just accountability. But I'll tell you, when you look at something like this, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at doing a lot of reach outs. My follow-ups are not always that great, right? Because I just talk to so many people, and to look at it and be like, man, I got to check that off and tell Laura that I did like 5 legitimate follow-ups. Or the opposite. Sometimes I get natural leads because of the post to say, nope, I'm gonna build this business with attention. 5 brand new reach outs. And on the back, I was like keeping track of the people that I was talking to, you know, and like making notes about them, so that I had it in one place. And so this is for the month of May. And now, am I going to cross out? Oh, by the way, we said 5 days a week. So if we don't do Summit on Friday, we want to do it on Saturday and Sunday. We were a little bit flexible with that. That basically, as full-time leaders with big, hairy, audacious goals, these were activities that we were going to do 5 days a week in our business. Okay. And here's the thing, if you're looking at this part-time and going, wow, I like the way that this looks, but maybe I can only read 2 pages a day, or maybe I can only do 2 reach outs, or I can do 2 follow-ups. You guys, you can change your template and make it something that is suitable to your business. I don't want you to feel like you've got to match that of people who do this full time, but it is going to track a lot of the activities that we want you to be doing. So the next was things that we wanted to do weekly. And I'm going to walk you through some of this, because this is where we as leaders are like, when do you do this? And when do you do that? And it was so like sporadic and just chaotic that it really wasn't efficient. And the downline welcome messages, that is literally like pulling a new enrollment report or looking at ISAPulse and sending a message. And I sent out 4 today. I sent out 6 yesterday, like as they were coming in, and it sounds something like this. Hey, Holly, how are you? I know you're in the best of hands with Brandy. My name is Lauren. I just wanted to reach out. I've been with the company for 8 years. I love the products. I love the business. I just wanted to be another line of support for you. Just out of curiosity, did you join for the products or the business? It's just reaching out to people who might not have the support, who might not know there's a business, or who are going to need you down the line. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. And if 3 weeks from now and somehow Brandy's on vacation and Holly needs help and she's like, hey, can you help me? I have someone who wants to get started. It's just creating those conversations. You know, sometimes people write back and say, I came for the collagen. I didn't even know there was a business. Like, can you tell me more about the business? Or whatever that may be. And so it was literally tracking to say a minimum of 10 new people that we did not personally enroll. How can we reach down and find them? You guys know Janny found Jessica because of the report. I mean, look at what Jessica has done for this entire company. And it's because Janny saw her on a report, reached through all of the people between Janny and her and said, hey, I want to get a hold of you. I want to chat with you. I have something exciting to share with you. So it was a way to track that. The customer product, like intro videos, you guys, this is being able to transition our customers into other things. So for example, I have a collagen customer, and today I was making swamp juice, right? I was doing a little bit of the greens and a little bit of ionic, and I did a quick little video, like not even 30 seconds, right? And I'm like, hey, April. And I said, I know you love the collagen. I made this quick little drink, and I just thought I wanted to share it with you. I know you love nutrition as much as me. These greens are packed with 2 servings of veggies. This is the best stress boosting powder in the planet. If you have any questions, let me know. We can put it in your next order. It creates curiosity, right? I did another one. I was like getting on the treadmill, and I took my e-shot. And I sent it to a brand new customer, and I said, hey, I haven't been talking about these. They've been out of stock. Good news, they're about to be back in stock. This is my favorite pre-workout. I have the best runs, and I never have to pee. you should ask me about this, right? And it's just dripping on people, but it was a way I can look down here and say, okay, did we send out 5 new cute little videos, Marco Polos, whatever works, showing the product to your new customers? Because guess what? This was all going to increase the basket order, right? The last thing you want is to get someone started with 200 BV and then them be ordering 55 BV in your business. Imagine them getting on at 128 BV and then ordering 200 BV and 300 BV, right? Because they love all these products and they stop shopping at Walgreens or wherever to shop at Isogenics. You know, so many people don't talk about our lotion and body wash. You guys, that is all that I have used for years. I mean, I'm obsessed with it, but you have to talk about it so people know about it. Pulling your business blueprint, the one by category that shows you who's close to rank advancing, who's close to double pids. You know, I think that I'm like, oh, I kind of do that. But Laura was like, our team doesn't know because you do it and you post about it. And as we bring on new leaders who are, you know, 1-star, 2-star, and they're growing a team, you know, Jess and I were doing this as managers. We were doing this as directors, but to be able to learn to pull it up and say, okay, here's my focus. I've already enrolled 7 people this week, right? I mean, I'm kicking butt, but let me actually now see what my team is doing and help them double their pips. One of the places that we're stretching ourselves, you guys, is reels. Like, thank you, Erica, right? Thank you, Tanya, for that amazing call, but I don't want to do them, but I think that they work. I'm enrolling from them. I know that I have a reach from them. And so we said, okay, can we commit to 3 a week, right? I mean, not only is that going to force us to actually like shower and do our makeup and do the things that sometimes we don't do in this business, but I'm like, I got to send my sheet to Laura. I got to check it off and be like, you know, and last week I only did 2 and it made me mad. So I already did 1 today. I was like, I'm starting out Monday with my reel. We're holding each other accountable. The consultants who are close to cycles, you guys, that's on Sunday nights. That's like going through and being like, oh my gosh, Sarah, you're only 42 BB away from another cycle. If you go in right now and buy our amazing, you know, eye cream, you're going to make $54. I just happened to notice and I wanted to let you know. I mean, when we get those people who are close to a cycle to order, that BV drives up through the entire team. So not only does it get people paid and the retention is high, it starts to change people's executive matches. And then it starts to change rank advancements. And I will tell you, when I had a rank advancement goal every single week, Jessica and I did this every single week. I mean, we used to go back and forth, like, what are you saying to people? What are you telling them to order right now? Like, how many people did you get to place a last minute order? And it's something that sometimes I'm doing it, sometimes I'm not anymore. And I was like, no, this is our business. The back office ends on Sunday nights and mountains move on Sunday nights. When we had 3 new people go consultant or go manager at 11 o'clock last night, I mean, at literally the 11th hour. And this is so exciting, but if you don't think about doing it, it will not happen in the wayside. But if you get your people paid, think about that ripple effect of what they're going to order, how they're going to be excited, and how long they're going to stay. So when we're talking about reaching out to inactive customers, sometimes you guys have been like really good about that with a seasonal shake. Like someone hasn't ordered in a while. By the way, cookies and cream is out. You should order now. But it's better to be intentional about it. So I have some people who use the collagen and stopped. And today I was reaching out to them specifically for the summer shred. And it's quick, you guys, it doesn't take very long at all. But I say something like, hey, Kathy, just a quick note in case you didn't see it. I know everything gets buried on social media. We've got this amazing summer shred kicking off. I know everybody's fired up to just get ready for the summer. I know you loved our collagen. If you're ready to check out the most amazing nutrition, everything's 100% money back, guaranteed. We've got the best system and plan for you to look and feel your best. I'd love to tell you more about it. You know, to reach out with inactive customers with intention. One of the things that I absolutely want to make sure that not only I'm doing, but the team is doing is to, I'm going to try and figure out where that mute is. Can't see it. To figure out. Thank you. Sorry, love the baby. So one of the things here is the vision calls. You guys, there are sometimes I've done 3 or 4 in a day, and I'm like, I'm not laryngitis from going through the compensation plan. But there's times I'm like, we haven't had as many. But I don't want to ever be frustrated with my business. Be like, man, people aren't getting me on the call to teach the comp plan. I want to reach out and talk to people and just say, hey, I see that you order 800 BB every single month. Can you get on the call with me? I want to show you how to order smarter about this. I want to show you how to turn those points into dollars. Do you have a couple minutes to talk with me? And it forces me to dig deep and set those calls up. And the manifest memos, you guys, I mean, this is absolutely an idea that I have stolen from Jess. And not that I think that she tracks it, but because I've been fortunate enough to receive those memos, that I want to actually make sure I'm doing that for other people. I mean, there have been times out of nowhere, I get this message and she says, oh my gosh, these amazing people are flooding your business. I can see it. And she just describes the greatness of the energy and the people that are showing up, and speaks like detailed truth of what's about to happen for Ryan and me. And it'll make me cry. Like, I have goosebumps everywhere. And we are so capable of just pouring that in to other people. You know, last year, I had a goal that I was going to hit 6-star, and Ann and Holly like made me a little graphic. They took my own picture and they put 6-star all across it. And they were like, we're rooting you on. And that is so fun to do for other people. And I said, I don't want to just sometimes do that, sometimes not, but be intentional that the people who have big goals and are really going for it, that I'm pausing to say like, hey, like, I just want you to know, I see amazing things for you. You know, I'm picturing you on Fiji and the flamingo floaties with us. I cannot wait to like drink coconut fun drinks with you, and you have this luxury room because you're at top achievers and you've worked so hard. And you know, to be able, when people are feeling a little down, to be like, man, all right, flamingo floaties, here I come. And to be really, really intentional about that. And the last little category here in the monthly was to make sure we're doing things like pulling the LIA report. You guys, corporate like puts the best information together for us. I would not have a clue how to put data like this together, but I can read the report and to look at it at least twice a month and help people get points in the categories so that they make money in the pools, that it keeps them going. And so I did it last week, you guys. I hadn't done it since they took out the 5-star depth bonus, right? And I was doing it a lot, and I was making a lot of money in those pools because I was really focused on getting people their 20 points. And I said, I've gotten away from it. And so I was messaging people over the weekend and just saying, hey, this is the points. This is where you need a category. I want you to make money in the manager pools. Hey, you're in the director pools right now. Right now, you're making 0. If we do this and that, you can make XYZ. Like, how can I help you? People are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. You know, when you've been in this for a while, that's like, we're making the residual income because we're mentoring people. And so I know when Laura and I started putting this together, she's like, okay, I'm already overwhelmed. And if you're feeling that way, that's why we have it organized. But I will tell you, it has been so fluid and so fun because it keeps you organized. So literally today, I did not have a contest in mind. I didn't, right? For the month, and some things that we're going to be doing on our product page for people who are ordering 100 BV or more. And I looked at it, I was like, team contest. And I'm like, Laura, we got to do our 100 BV contest. We got to get that out. We just started the May, commission month. I have not been great about doing in-home parties, right? Everything became virtual. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, May, right? May's a busy month. We got Mother's Day, Memorial Day weekend. I've got to get my collagen and cocktails scheduled right now, or it's not going to happen. And so my monthly stuff, I'm not looking at this every single day and having to pull those reports. But if 30 or 31 days out of the month to be able, to look at it and say, did I do that activity? Is my business growing because I did that? It has been really, really helpful for us. So I will absolutely share that with Jess, and Jamie Lynn or Kristen and everybody in my team. You guys can have it, you can change it. And maybe some of the reports are like, okay, that's not the right size for my business. And you want to do something else. Maybe there's some daily activities that are working for you and you want to tweak it. But it was a way that we basically could just take our CEO hats and look at the business as a whole on where are we recruiting, where are we team developing, and where are we just staying organized and really looking at it. Because when you're running a multiple 6-figure business, part of that is just staying on top of it and not losing people. And if there's only one thing that I wish I had done sooner in years past, was really focus on the organization, because I think our retention would have been sooner. What we're doing now with the simple systems and the ease of the products, our retention is much, much, much higher. But Laura and I know that Jess has had similar conversations with, Denise or Adrian, but just thought about amazing people, like really, really, really good people. And we came out of the gates hot. I'm like, man, if we could have them back today. And part of what we're recruiting with is not only do we have these amazing products, and not only do we have an incredible compensation plan, but we have simple systems, right? PVC 1, 2, 3. And then when someone says, how do you stay organized? If you can send them a link to a Google sheet that they can put on their phone, and just at any moment, if they're in the parking lot for mom pickup, if they're sitting at a field while kids are at practice, whatever is happening, to sit down and be like, okay, here's what I can do in my business for the next 30 minutes. I really think it'll help with our retention. I think it'll help with the growth. So if you guys have any feedback please reach out to me directly. Okay. Like, don't do it in all of our group chats and things of that sort. Just reach out to me directly. I will listen to it. I'm open to it. I love criticism. That's where we all get better. And then if there's things that I really lean into that I'll change, I'll do that. Otherwise, I will make sure that, Jess and the leaders on this team get the originals so that you guys have them and you can do what it is. With that being said, if you guys are done for the night, please hop off, enjoy your Monday. If you want to stay on, I'm happy to answer questions, but I want to just remind you guys, this is the last week for Mexico. And I have seen the most insane things happen when people are put under pressure. I mean, there's a reason why we say that diamonds are made under pressure. I watched a girl once go from manager to executive in 4 days because she was going for her crystal executive bonus, and I was like, oh my gosh, she created like 8 consultants in a week. We've seen people double rank advance. That if you're envisioning yourself in Puerto Vallarta, sitting on the beach, having some cocktails in the middle of the summer, surrounding yourself with top leaders, I would literally say lock yourself in the closet, sign up for Uber Eats. No, I'm just kidding. Not that bad. At least have a shake, but just buckle down and work your tail off. And if you've already qualified, reach down to someone on your team and say, how can I help you? I want to go on this trip with you. It is so much more fun when we are there together. And put yourself in a room, smile and dial. I mean, just stop texting people, stop posting, and pick up the phone and just say, Melissa, oh my gosh, you've been on my mind. I don't know if you use a collagen. I'm blown away with the results I've had. If you are open to checking something out, it's truly a market disruptor. I'd love to tell you all about it, right? And when Melissa's like, yes, and she buys and saying, just so you know, I've got an amazing special. If you get 2 people by Sunday, and then offer an incentive, match the consultant development bonus, gift them ISA delivery for a year, do something that people come in with their 2 right away and say, okay, by the way, you're going to love this so much. Plus, I want you to have the hair revival. We can get that in your husband's account and map out a buy one, get one free situation if they enroll a kiddo. I loved Erica the other day. She's like, we've got a lot of dogs and cats right now using collagen, and whatever you got to do to figure it out to get these people paid. We're just super, super excited about this trip. And I have said it since day one. If Isagenix is going to put money on the table, we're not leaving it on the table. I mean, Jessica and I have earned every single trip that has been offered since we've been a part of Isagenix. And we say that not because we're badasses, but because we're so grateful of what this company has done that I'm like, man, you want to send me to Puerto Vallarta over my birthday weekend? Let's go, right? And that's super fun. And then I just started envisioning, who do I want to be with there? And I'm like, man, I was like, I can't wait to go have cocktails with Holly and, go have, elevator chats with Jessica and go do yoga with Cindy and, talk to Janny over coffee, and you get excited about it. And then reach out to your team and say, I want you there. What can I do? And just smile and dial, block off the time and clear out your schedule this week. Stay up later, get up earlier. Don't do the meal prep, and just envision it. Picture it like it's already done. And allow these people to show up, allow them to show up in groups of 3, be obsessed with getting people paid, and work until the finish line. And last week I had a really special call with Erica and Holly, teaching some of my leaders about how to drive the line and rank advance. But I'm going to quote what Erica said because it was so badass and I thought it was amazing. But like, what's the worst that happens, right? If you go for this amazing goal, what's the worst that happens? You get an extra cycle, you get more customers in your business, you get a couple extra pips. Like, you can't fail. So even if you don't hit whatever goal you're going for this week, I mean, just be so dialed in, because the worst that's going to happen is it's still more money and it's still more people and it's still more growth in your business. So you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful Monday night. Next week is a corporate call. The following week, we've got Zach Slobin. Please keep plugging in. If anybody has questions on this, I will stay on. If you guys want to be done, please hang up. We'll get the recording out, but I do want to be available to answer any questions if you guys have any. Jessica's saying next week is 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain Time, right? Because we have this amazing call with Kathy and Jess, that it's the masterclass. It's going to be a little bit earlier. We'll be posting about it. So Central Time, 7:30, Eastern Time, 8:30, Mountain Time, 6:30, Pacific, 5:30, 30 minutes earlier next week. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful week.